Reactions are trailing new videos trending on social media from NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi's speech at the NDC aspirants dinner on Monday night in Abuja. Addressing the crowd, Peter Obi declared that the NDC was determined to build a political institution founded on service, fairness, inclusion, and internal democracy, rather than personal interest and transactional politics. But it is his bold warning on electoral integrity that is setting social media on fire, with Peter Obi imploring the public not to be afraid of any party rigging elections, stating that if votes aren't properly accounted for, they will personally step in to count the votes themselves. Let's take a look.
For those who want to rule Nigeria for the next 4 years, they must give us reason to vote for them. It's no longer going to be. Don't be determined by their threat to rig election. This time, our vote will count. Our vote counts. If it doesn't count, those who refuse to count it will count it. We have a country. This country must work. People can no longer take us for granted.
All right, I'll take a reaction from Nonso, who wrote, "That's the spirit Nigerians want to hear. Elections should be decided by the people, not by manipulation or intimidation. Every vote must count in 2027. If they refuse to count the votes, we will count them." And I hope that this is the spirit out there for...
Stop the rubbish they did in 2023. We remember what happened to Jennifer. We remember how some people carry Oro. Please, they shouldn't do it this time. Let the votes of the people count. And we beg them in the name of God. And that's just what Obi is saying here. Oji yesterday had a chilling conversation with a young man that told me that he used to be a political talk as at 2010. How they paid them 50,000, how they bought guns for them, how they went to do charms for them to be able to disrupt elections in polling units where their opposition is winning. We cannot go back to that same country. If you truly think that you love this country so much and you want to serve the people and it's not your interest, if the people choose you, you will accept. But you must not fraudulently put yourself in place. And that's what we keep saying. So, and please, we have to beg INEC. We are sick and tired. We must not hear the technical glitch you brought forward last year that have not been able to tell us what transpired.
Right.
The same technical glitch that only affected the presidential election. We are sick and tired of all of this shenanigans. We are sick and tired of all of this manipulation. Nigerians will just want to breathe. Oji, we are celebrating Children's Day today, but children are in captivity. We have seen the cost and the reason for bad leadership consistently, not only in this administration, but in subsequent administration. We have seen the fact that military is not properly funded, but people's presidential fleet is funded. Oji, we cannot go through all of this turmoil again. We have seen teachers beheaded. We need leadership.
Usually, when you watch a massive championship game, you trust the referees to keep the score. Even if you hate a specific call, well, the scoreboard is the scoreboard. But imagine the tension in the stadium if a star player just grabbed a microphone and told the crowd they'd count the points themselves if the refs mess up.
I mean, that would be wild. Just total chaos.
Exactly. And that energy is basically what brings us to today's... At the recent Nigeria Democratic Congress, or the NDC primaries, Peter Obi dropped a quote regarding the 2027 elections that has pretty much set Nigerian political circle on fire.
Right. The quote where he basically said, if they don't count it properly, we will count it ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, let's unpack this, because on the surface, calling for electoral vigilance sounds like a standard civic duty.
Well,
right?
Yeah. But going back to your sports analogy, telling the fans to keep the score, is that actually empowering them, or is it just a recipe for a riot on the field?
Right, exactly.
I'd actually push back on that stadium analogy a bit, though. I mean, a stadium has security guards and controlled gates.
Oh, good point.
A rural polling unit in Nigeria, or even, a congested urban one, often operates with minimal security and massive logistical challenges.
So if multiple competing political factions decide they are the official scorekeepers, you aren't just getting a rowdy crowd.
Exactly. You are risking a localized breakdown of law and order.
Fair point. But let's look at the mechanics of what counting it ourselves actually means in this context. We aren't just talking about crowds standing around with tally counters, are we?
No, not at all. What's fascinating here is the underlying strategy. For Obi's supporters, this is really about parallel vote tabulation.
Wait, what does that actually look like on the ground?
Well, it's the idea of citizens using smartphones to photograph the official result sheets. Those are called Form EC8A. They snap pictures right at the polling units and upload them to independent servers.
Oh, wow. So it's essentially crowdsourced auditing.
Basically, yes. They view this decentralized, tech-driven oversight as the ultimate defense of democracy against manipulation.
That sounds super organized, but the critics, especially from the ruling APC, are hearing something entirely different, right?
Definitely. They argue that this specific wording, like, we will count it ourselves, crosses a very dangerous line.
The line from auditing into usurping authority.
Right. And that raises an important question about institutional legitimacy. The warning from critics is that if every political party runs its own parallel counting operation, what happens when they inevitably get conflicting numbers?
Who arbitrates that?
Exactly. You create a scenario where the official electoral body is completely bypassed, and that leads straight into a constitutional crisis.
Which begs the question, why is the desire to bypass the electoral commissions so strong right now? I mean, this rhetoric doesn't just happen in a vacuum.
It really doesn't. It directly stems from the fallout of the 2023 elections. If we connect this to the bigger picture, 2023 is really the ghost-haunting 2027.
Because Obi has consistently argued that the official tally from that race didn't reflect the actual votes.
Yes. And the core issue wasn't just the physical counting, it was the breakdown of the IRA-V system.
Remind me, that's the portal meant to display real-time electronic results.
Yeah, that's the one. When that technology failed to deliver transparency, public trust basically just evaporated.
Here's where it gets really interesting. A Rise TV anchor, Rufai Oseni, recently analyzed this exact dynamic.
Oh, yeah. His take on this is crucial.
It is. He points out that we are stuck in a vicious cycle. The institutional failure in 2023 is what fuels this aggressive DIY rhetoric for 2027.
Right. Oseni is essentially asking a huge question. Is there any path for the Electoral Commission to actually regain public trust?
Or are we locked into an escalating arms race of citizen vigilantism?
It is the defining dilemma here. When state institutions lose credibility, citizens feel compelled to build their own parallel structures.
But parallel structures in an election don't usually create clarity, do they?
Not usually, no. They mostly just create friction, and the psychological burden shifts entirely. I mean, put yourself in the shoes of a voter right now.
Yeah, you aren't just casting a ballot anymore.
Exactly. You feel mandated to physically and digitally guard the ballot box against the very institution that is supposed to be running it.
That sounds exhausting. So, what does this all mean for you, the listener? We are looking at a fragile standoff where the line between vital citizen vigilance and dangerous political escalation is paper thin.
Yes, every statement is loaded now, and the mechanics of how a vote is verified might end up mattering more than the vote itself.
And it forces us to look beyond just Nigeria, too.
Absolutely. This is becoming a global theme wherever institutional trust is fracturing.
Well, that leaves you with something to really mull over. If traditional electoral institutions completely lose the public's trust, what does a peaceful, decentralized, citizen-led election process actually look like in the modern world?
Right. Is that even possible?
Exactly. Or does it inevitably lead to chaos? Something to think about.